When rating someone, a rater should consider the entire window of performance. So, if a boss is rating someone on their performance over the past year, then they should take into account everything that happened over the entire year. However, that doesn't always happen. It's common for a rater to let a narrow window of performance influence their entire rating. There are two types of errors that fall into this category. The first type is a recency error. This occurs when recent incidents of performance, or what occurred at the end of a performance window, is overemphasized. Let's look at an example of the recency error. The boss is rating Shreya on her yearly performance evaluation, which should cover all of her performance over the past year. Shreya has performed very well over the past year. She successfully managed a media campaign for 5 big clients and met all relevant deadlines on these projects. However, 2 weeks before the performance evaluation, Shreya missed a deadline on a project with an important client. Based on her performance, she probably deserves meets expectations in all categories. Her score should take into account her mistake at the end of the year, but it also should reflect all of her great work in the beginning of the year. If the boss was demonstrating a recency error, how would Shreya probably be rated? Take a moment to think about your answer. That's right. A recency error would cause the boss to give her a below-average rating in time management and professionalism because they are thinking about the recent incident of missing deadlines, rather than all of the times in the whole year that Shreya successfully met her deadline. A first impression error is the opposite of a recency error. The rater still overemphasizes a narrow time, but this time, the bias is from the first window of performance. Let's look at an example. The boss is rating Walter on his yearly performance evaluation, which should cover all of his performance over the past year. Walter was a very eager employee when he first started, and the boss noticed that he was typically the first one in the office and the last one to leave. Over time, Walter settled into a more typical work pattern that was more similar to other employees, and this is how he worked for most of the year. Based on his performance for most of the year, he deserves a meets expectations. If the boss was demonstrating a first impression error, what would Walter's ratings look like? Take a moment to think about your answer. Walter would probably be given an exceeds expectations rating because his good first impression is influencing the boss's rating. The last type of rater bias that we will discuss is called the similar to me error. It is a common human tendency to like those that are similar to us, but this rating error occurs when we allow similarity to influence our judgments. Similarity could be defined in many ways, from demographics to personality, participation in similar hobbies, or belonging to the same groups. Let's look at an example. The boss is rating Andre and Carly on their yearly performance evaluations. Both are data entry specialists and have performed well with minimal errors. Like the boss, Carly has an outgoing personality and is humorous. Andre, on the other hand, is more quiet and reserved. Without even realizing it, the boss was demonstrating a similar to me error. How would the evaluations for Andre and Carly probably look? Take a moment to think about your answer. Carly's evaluations would probably be more positive, even though for the job of a data entry specialist, having an outgoing personality does not impact job performance. The boss is simply rating her with a similar to me error because her personality is similar to his. You have reached the end of the rating and rater bias video. You've learned about the goal of rating and the different types of rater bias that promote error. Great work!